Oh, well, I'm King John, you're you, and that's great. Yeah, you really are. Now, I'm sure we've all heard an awful lot about the ecological damage done by using fossil fuels to create electrical power. And I'm sure we've all heard an awful lot from people pushing for solar power and wind power, which you know is a boondoggle because almost nobody pushing for green energy actually talks about hydropower, which is far better than solar or wind because it's proven technology, it's actually economically viable, and, well, I digress. Anyway, so another option that some people talk about, other people push against, is nuclear power. Now the thing is that a lot of people who are against nuclear power are not against nuclear power for the right reasons. Now, normally when people talk about being against something or for something for the right reasons versus the wrong reasons, I can't help but roll my eyes. The thing is, the point is here that these are factually incorrect reasons that people are against nuclear power. Um, People say they're against nuclear power because of ecological damage, because of danger, and a properly built, run, and maintained nuclear power plant is economically viable, does very little ecological damage, and is very safe. Now, one of the things one of the misconceptions about nuclear power is that there's a lot of nuclear waste to be disposed of, and what that nuclear waste actually constitutes. Now, when people think about nuclear waste, they think about clean, glowing rocks that melt your face off if you get too close to them. And there is something like 1.5% of actual nuclear waste is anything actually like that. Most nuclear waste is actually very safe, no more dangerous than a cobalt glass jar, which should be handled carefully. That is true. However, there is no reason why nuclear waste cannot be safely and ecologically disposed of. Now, as for safety, well, the Fukushima nuclear power plant was hit by a literal earthquake and tsunami, and there was no nuclear disaster. Again, a properly built, run, and maintained nuclear power plant is very safe. So basically, the only real reason why people are opposed to nuclear power as a concept is Chernobyl. That's really it. And that's a little unfair to nuclear power because Chernobyl was a very, very unusual event. Okay, a lot of people made a lot of bad decisions over a long period of time to make that possible. Now, it is true that what happened at Chernobyl could only happen at a nuclear power plant. It could not happen at a coal-fired plant or a solar farm. Only at a nuclear power plant could something like that happen. But the sheer scale of the disaster and the sheer scale of the disaster that could have happened if things had happened just a little bit differently. I mean, if any one of a number of things had gone just a little bit differently, literally hundreds of millions of people could have died. So the sheer scale of that does require people to think about that and remember that and make plans around that when discussing nuclear power. Now, because you are a smart audience, you may have noticed that I keep talking about a properly built, properly run, and properly maintained nuclear power plant. So, the only reason to really be scared of nuclear power, to be anxious about building a nuclear power plant, let's say that, put it that way, is you need to ask yourself this question. Okay, do you trust the people in charge and the people who will be in charge to properly build, run, and maintain a nuclear power plant? If the answer is anything but an unqualified yes, then you should be very cautious about approving the building of nuclear power. And that is the one good reason to be against nuclear power. That's the one good argument to make against it. And that's all I got to say. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you have a lovely day.